What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Well, welcome to my channel. This is my first video ever. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Share this video to a friend and let them know that I'm here to stay on YouTube. So, as seen in the beginning of the video, I was applying a loose setting powder. That was a Laura Mercier powder in medium deep. It's just basically a powder that's kind of close to her complexion. The main reason I do this is just to mattify the brows, eliminate any oils that will negatively impact the longevity of the brows. So basically, you want the brows to last long. You don't want it to be slipping and sliding throughout the day, even through sweat, even through whatever. So that is why I make sure I have a nice matte base. She has an amazing amount of eyebrow hair already. So all I really had to do was just outline it, outline the bottom, outline the top. When I outline, I tend to start from the middle towards the tail, and then I go from the middle to the front of the brows, in that order basically. And I'm just going to just lightly fill it in because she already has a good amount of brow hairs, and I'm going for more of a soft look. You really don't want to go for like the full glam eyebrow look, you know, the ones that you would get more so with like a pomade, if you get where I'm going with this. So the dominant motion is basically just having feathery like strokes. When I say feathery like strokes, you're basically just flicking the pencil onto the brows to gradually build your color in. You definitely want to be very light-handed with this. Not so light-handed where of course there's no color going on, but you want to be light-handed to the point where you're not making it look very boxy and very dark, because again, we're going for a very nice soft brow look. As we work towards the front of the brow, you will definitely see me utilizing the spoolie that's attached to this brow pencil. Guys, you got to get this. Like literally, it's a lifesaver, and you definitely need this to avoid the boxy look. Sometimes I even make mistakes where I accidentally go in with too much product in the front of the brows, and having the spoolie attached to it literally just wipes all the mistakes away. Right now, I'm just moisturizing her face with the Pond's Dry Skin Cream. This cream can honestly be used to prime any skin type, whether oily, combination, dry, normal. I use it for all my clients actually. It's really good. It's honestly really universal. I don't know why it's called Dry Skin Cream, but whatever. To prep the eyelid, I use Milk and Magnesia. I would usually apply this with a brush, but it was drying out, so I'm using my fingers. I'm sorry about that. But typically, you'll be using a brush. You will use literally the thinnest amount. You don't want to see a white cast because that will make it very cakey. I will definitely explain Milk and Magnesia more later on in my videos about how to use it and why I use it and how not to use it, basically. Here you saw me concealing the bottom of the brows with Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in Rich, and I'm concealing the top of the brows with a slightly darker color, which is the same exact brand, is just Rich Sand. You don't want to conceal the bottom and the top of the brows with the same exact color, because let's say you conceal the top of the brow with the same exact color you conceal the bottom with, it will look like your brows are floating under the foundation. It would definitely be noticeable and it won't look cute at all, so just don't do that. Even if you don't have a slightly darkened concealer, just mix your concealer with your foundation a tad bit, like literally a tad bit, and use that to conceal the top of your brows. Now we're just patting this in with the Real Techniques brush. All the product names will be down in the description box below. I really can't remember them from the top of my head just yet, so yes, please bear with me, but if anything, you can definitely go down to the description for reference. Just patting this in, making sure this is nice and set. Tarte Shape Tape does an amazing job with not having a formula that's too runny and stuff like that, but of course, you definitely want to go back with this little brush, any little brush. Even if you want to use a Real Techniques setting brush, that's an amazing brush too. It's not too big, it's not too small, and it's just the right shape to basically just get rid of any excess product that naturally comes with applying any product or any creamy product to your face. Using the same application technique I used for the concealer, I'm doing the same exact thing with this P. Louise Rumor 1 base. Just basically just applying this to the lid only. It's kind of hard to see nudes, so that is why I typically apply this Rumor 1 base to lighten it up a bit so you can see all the colors pop. For today's look, we'll be using the beautiful Plain Makeup by Yolando and Beauty by Melissa collaboration palette. This is so universal, it's beginner friendly. The link is down below. With my Morphe 504 brush, I'll be going into the color That's Not Cute and using that as my transition shade for this beautiful, nice nude look. This will be considered a light to medium brown, and I love doing this because it just It just blends well into her already brown eyelids and just makes it very seamless once I go in with the next color, which will be a deeper brown. Going into the color Expensive, I'm using my Morphe M503 brush to put it directly in the crease. This brush is basically more dense so that it can be focused more in one area. We'll be using the P. Louise Rumor Base in one again to kind of cut the crease. I'm gonna say kind of because this is a rough, soft nude look. It's not a cut crease whatsoever. It's not a cut crease. When I say cut crease, a cut crease is basically defined by it being precisely cut and shaped in a circular form, in a circular shape correctly. This will basically be called a no cut crease cut crease. I'm using the same brush that I used to pat out the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer to pat out this P. Louise base. Now that our base is all set and ready, we're going to go ahead into the shade Wow in the palette with my Morphe M433 brush. This is a fluffy brush, but it's dense enough where it gets the color precisely where I want it to be without it looking too harsh. We're going to gradually build this color up, which means we're just going to take as little product as possible and work our way up. You don't want to go with so much product or so much powder in the first shot because it can get patchy and it can look crazy. And yeah, that's really hard to fix, honestly. So that is why I always say to gradually work your way up into as much pigmentation as you would like. With the same exact brush, I lightly went into the first color, the transition color, which was That's Not Cute, and went around the edges of the Wow that we just applied to make sure everything is seamless and blends together and looks correct without looking too harsh. Unfortunately, I was sitting in front of the camera when I was applying the lashes and the eyeliner. I'm so sorry. I'm going to make sure I make room or not do that for the next video, but yes, so right now I'm just concealing with the Rich from Tarte Shape Tape in all the concealed worthy areas underneath her eyes, underneath her nose, the middle of her nose, the forehead, and the chin. Using my NARS Natural Radiant Foundation in Iguacu and mixed it a little bit with Molly, I'm applying the foundation all around, basically all around where I didn't conceal. Before I blend everything all together, I spray her face with a setting spray just so that the foundation could stay on. I like how it is sometimes, you know, it gets really dry and it's hard to blend. So depending on how the temperature is in my studio, but this right here, one, it loosens it up a bit, and two, it just helps the longevity of the makeup in general. So definitely try this trick to see how you like it. Using a lighter concealer, which is the Tarte in the color Deep Sand, I'm going to highlight the high points of her face, which is right underneath her under eye, but like the center part of her under eye, the nose, and a little bit of the forehead. So contour and highlighting, I'm gonna definitely explain the difference between the two later on. I don't want this video to be way too long, so I'm gonna definitely make a whole new video on different steps of the face as far as like contour and highlighting. So make sure you subscribe and turn on your post notifications for that video coming really soon. Alternating between the Real Technique sponge and the brush I used to pat out the foundation, I'm just basically blending out underneath the concealer to make sure the concealer and the foundation blend seamlessly so you don't see any lines of demarcation. To set the face or to set the concealed areas, I'm using MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the color Dark Deepest to set all the concealed areas. I didn't catch it on camera, I'm sorry, but to set the rest of the face that's not concealed, I use MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Dark Deep. Going into my Black Radiance contour palette in Dark Deep, I'll be using the first color, the darkest color in the palette, to contour her face with this brush. I don't know where this brush is from. This is from like years ago, but it works really well. Actually, it's been sitting in my kit and I decided to use it one day because my regular contour brush wasn't available and I fell in love ever since. I feel like it's not too big. It doesn't get everywhere and it's just like, but it's not too small where it looks like, you know, way too precise, if you get what I mean. So I really love this brush. I definitely need to find out where it's from so I could tell you guys. But yeah. Using Fenty in Mocha, I'm going to lightly bronze her face. So basically putting that on top of where I just contoured. Just really carving her out and giving her a little bit more warmth, because you can lose that sometimes when contouring. To contour her nose, I'm going to be using a slightly lighter shade, a medium brown, in the color Yodi from the Warrior 2 palette from JUVIA'S with my crown brush. To bake the face, we'll be using the Lower Mercier in the color Medium Deep. Just pressing this into the concealed areas, making sure that everything is all set in place and nice. We already preset before with the mineralized skin finish, but right now we're just further going in and making sure we set properly. I always do this with any client, whether they're dry, oily, whatever skin type they have, just because it also has a brightening effect. And it just supports the overall longevity of the makeup and makes it flashback proof. With the same Warrior 2 palette we used before to contour the nose, we're going to go into another shade, or two other shades in the palette, Zama and Jamata, and using that as blush for today. There wasn't really much product from the contour and bronzer, so that is why I was able to use the same brush to apply the blush. Using my favorite mascara of all time, Bad Girl Bang from Benefit. We're going to coat one layer on the bottom lash. You don't want to forget that at all. It really makes a difference, honestly, in the look, to make your eyes pop. And don't forget to put one light coat underneath the false lashes. Lining my lips with the Morphe lip pencil, which is also slept on, and the color Richie. I'm using that to outline her lips. It's a beautiful brown color. It's for my dark skin girls or my brown skin girls. The undertone is perfect. You should all get this, honestly. It's only $5. Pairing that with my new favorite go-to nude lip gloss. This is so beautiful against her skin. It's so beautiful against dark skins, brown skins. It just looks so good, honestly, and so buttery, so creamy. I will definitely be releasing this soon, so stay tuned for the name of this product. Right now, I'm just pressing the leftover setting powder in with a beauty blender to just seep it in and blend it into the skin so that it can really set into the skin. Today I used two highlighters. I used the JUVIA'S loose highlighter in the color Nubia, and I also used Royal Hotness from Dose of Colors. And I love applying this with a small fluffy brush. It doesn't get everywhere, but yet it doesn't look too harsh on the face. Setting her face again with the NYE Setting Spray, just spritzing that on. This setting spray is like, it's like the Gorilla Glue. Like, you remember, if you know, you know. Once you spray this on, it's lit, it's over, it's done for. You're gonna have your makeup on for like 12 days. Now I'm playing, but it's really gonna last long, honestly. And I also spritz some on the sponge before I pat it under the under eye, because this is very important. I wanna make sure her under eye is staying, whether it's crying, whether she's laughing, whatever, it's not creasing up, it's not moving, it's not doing nothing. I finished it off camera with the Morphe setting mist, the black packaging. And this completes my video on how to create a soft nude eyeshadow look. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and share this to a friend. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.